give you a rundown of what we're going to be doing in this orientation. I just want to go over the syllabus real quick, highlight the important points, and then I want to go into Canvas so you know how to navigate your way through that site. I know that each course will have a different format. Your history class, your math class, which also uses Canvas, might have a different layout compared to my layout. So I just want to introduce that to you. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen, and then I'll just talk to you guys again about the syllabus first, and that'll cover the schedule as well as the grading criteria and other items. And then hopefully we'll be done before 7. So that, because I only want to keep you for an hour, and then we'll talk about where to find things in Canvas. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen on that aspect. So I think you're seeing my iPad. Yes, you are. So let me go ahead and start this. It's a PowerPoint presentation that basically mimics the syllabus. So if you have a copy of the syllabus, you'll see that I will go over those points. Thank you, Rebecca, about giving me some feedback that you can see me and hear me. So why don't we go ahead and get started on this? And then I think in your display, you will see, depending on how you have it laid out, the participation as well as my PowerPoint. I always like to start out with that little clip just because you can see that science, it has evolved considerably, and that it's been built by great people, okay, men and women. So you guys are taking a chemistry class, and I know that that scares a lot of you, but we'll try and make sure that you're guided through so you understand what's going on. This course is usually for those of you who are going into the allied health field, okay? So as a person who is going into nursing, nutrition, kinesiology, you need to understand some of the technical language and just think like a scientist. So that's what this course is all about. It's all online, so you're going to find the material online. If you want, I can review the chapter and give you a review session in that way, but basically my lecture notes are all online, and I also have some videos discussing some important points. Anyway, like I said, this course is for the chemical process of living systems and how our environment work, and that pertains to the allied health field. What you guys are going to be doing is you might be the doctors or nurses or the healthcare person that will take care of others, and I want to make sure that you know your science if you're going to be involved with life and death situations. So that's why you need science. And I know that many of you might say that, well, it's nice to take chemistry. Well, maybe it's not nice to take chemistry, but I don't see it used. But just thinking about complex problems will help you as you evolve to be a allied health, as you go into your allied health careers. Okay, so that's basically what the objective of this course happens to be. This is my contact information. I have, now that Miramar is open again, but this is a summer class, so I'll be in and out of the lab or my office over the summer, but certainly if you want, we can have appointments over Zoom, or you can email me. Make sure you email me via Canvas, okay? Don't use the fgarces.ch100@gmail.com unless you absolutely have to. But what I want you to do is, if you need to communicate with me, go via Canvas. There's a little icon on the left that says inbox. Click on that and you can email me through that. Okay, so this is basically contact information. Your goal and expectation, you guys have some extra credit assignments. And it's extra credit because I know that a lot of times you guys get stressed when you're taking an exam. And it's not that you don't know it, it's that you make it harder than it really is. You overthink the problems. But nevertheless, what I'd like you guys to do is not get so stressed out when you take the exams. It is open book and open notes, no open friends, and you shouldn't use the internet to find the answers. But because this is an online class, it is open book and open notes. But what I'd like you guys to do is not get stressed out. So I built in some extra credit at the beginning of the semester. If you do those surveys, which gets me to know you a little bit, your interests, and what your backgrounds are, then you get like 5 points, okay? And hopefully that'll give you less stress when you're taking the course, because you already have maybe about 20-25 points extra credit built in. The course is structured so that there's a total of 1,000 points required assignments for the semester, and it's a nice convenient system, because if you've got like 905 points, you know you've got 90.5%, and that would be an A. On the other hand, if you've got 570 points at the end of the semester, that's 57%, and that's not quite enough to pass this course. So again, I've sort of structured this class so that it's easy to figure out where you are just based on your percentage on the points to date. The other thing that I want to mention is that in that survey for extra credit, I do ask you what your goal for the class is, what you think you will be earning in this course over the summer based on your work ethics, and what would you like, what you think you, what grade would you like if everything was perfect, okay? And then of course, any barriers that might prevent you from achieving your goal. You might be working, you might have families, you might be going out of town. Just let me know what's going on, okay? So that's the goals and expectation. The way the course is structured is that everything's available through the internet. Okay, my notes, Canvas, where you're taking the quiz and the exams, as well as the videos. So basically, you go to the web, you access Canvas, or you can go to my homepage, and Canvas has a link there too. And you also need My Lab and Mastering, which is the publisher's website where you guys will be doing the homework. Also, make sure that if you haven't bought the book from the bookstore, there's this book, which is a custom edition. I don't know if you can see it in my, okay, it keeps disappearing, okay. But this book is the first 10 chapters of this textbook, okay? And it's a lot less expensive, and it also has an access code if you get it from the bookstore. If you don't get it through the bookstore and you get it through Pearson directly, through the link that I provided, then you can just buy the access code to My Lab and Mastering, and it comes with an ebook. Make sure you sign up for that. Don't really buy this book. It's really too expensive, and we don't use the, we don't use the whole textbook. We only use the first 10 chapters, okay? So either go to, you can rent the book as well. Go to Pearson and sign up for the access code to My Lab and Mastering, and you get the ebook. or you can go to the bookstore and get the customized edition. You also get access code. If you want, you get the full text. I think that's the 6th edition. It covers not only this course, but it also covers the organic section, the organic biochemistry section. Unfortunately, I don't think Chem 130 uses that book, so it's not worth getting the full text. Okay. The book is still the same. What I asked the publisher to do was I asked them to take the regular textbook and rip off the first 10 chapters up to acid-base chemistry, and then to put it in the custom edition. Okay, that's why it's less expensive. So that's basically, it's the same word for word chapters, except this only has the first 10 chapters that covers acid-base chemistry. Okay, so the book, we usually go by the author. The author is Timberlake, and the title of the text is Structure of Life, Chemistry Structure of Life. If you go to the bookstore, then it's just called Chem 100, okay, because it's a custom edition. Anyway, hope that's clear in terms of that. For the copy in the bookstore, I think if you look at the syllabus, it's about $100 some. I'd like to say like 145, maybe less. I always try and ask the publisher to make sure that we get a discount since we're not using the full textbook. Okay, so just you can call up the bookstore and see what's going on. Anyway, like I said, this course is for allied health majors, and there's no required meeting time except for the times that you have to make yourself available for the midterm and the final. The midterm and the final is July 22nd, 1 to 4. You only get about maybe 100, 120 minutes though in that 1 to 4 window. And August 11th, 1 to 4. And then after that, for those of you in lab, we have a lab final and a lab practical, just so that you know, okay? Oh, it's 160. Yeah, you might be better off getting the ebook and the access code. It might be cheaper that way, or even renting it. Okay. Thanks for letting me know about that. Okay. Someone put in the chat that it costs 160. But if you got financial aid, then perhaps they can you can get it free. Okay, that's why we have it available at the bookstore. Anyway, like I said, this orientation video is optional. I will record it. And then if there's any like review sessions that I have, again, those are not mandatory, but I'll try and record it with your permission. I always have to ask for permission. And then that way you can see what was discussed. I've recorded a lot of my sessions with my students in the past. And you know, chemistry is chemistry. That's why I'm not really, okay, for 18 months, you can rent the book for $18. I mean, $75. So that's nice to know. But like I said, chemistry is chemistry. That's why I'm not really glued to one textbook. I do need you guys to access my lab and mastering, because the homework has to be the same for everyone. That way we all have a level playing field. But the chemistry that you learned, the chemistry that I learned some 30 years back, is the same chemistry that you guys are learning, okay? The fundamentals. And it's the fundamentals that you guys need to master if you're going to move on to the next level, okay? Like I said, the chemistry will be the fundamentals that we cover. My lecture notes cover, gives you the background information. Any chemistry will give you that information, but you do need to access the homework from my lab and mastering, okay? As far as the link for the rental, I think you can get it based on what I put in the syllabus through Pearson, okay? Let me move on. Here it is, okay? I guess it's not 145 anymore, it's 160, okay? $75 for my lab and mastering. And if you go to Canvas, there's a link there where you can get get the information. We always have student learning outcomes because we want to make sure that what you're getting out of the course is something that you need as you move on. So the student learning outcomes for this class is the 4, and there's a syllabus quiz question on this. So make sure you pay attention. Apply math to solve quantitative chemical problems. That basically means that you're going to have to be doing math to solve like some stoichiometry problem. You got to write chemical names and formulas for compounds. You got to be able to look at a formula and name it. Given the name, you got to be able to write the formula. Okay. Then I'll talk to you more about where to find my lab and mastering link, okay, when we get to that. So just hold off on that. List types of intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces is really important. You might not think so, but it's really important if you go into biology. It's the reason why we have the phases of matter: solid, liquids, and gas. So you need to understand how that operates and describe how the properties, the shapes, polarity, and intermolecular forces are attributed to the chemical substance based on the atoms that make it up. Okay, so those are the student learning outcomes, and those will probably be in a lot of your quiz questions and exam questions, because those are the core topics that you really need to understand. Okay, so again, SLO, and then the required material is also on here. This is the schedule. It's in your it's in the syllabus as well. Like I said, you can see right here in the beginning, these are all extra credit. Well, not all, some are required. Okay, like maybe a couple of them, but for the most part, you need to, if you want extra points, then do the math review practice, do the what you know survey. The syllabus quiz is required, and you need to complete that by the 29th. Okay, so after our discussion today, you guys will have a good idea of what this course is about, and then you can take the syllabus quiz. It is open notes, so if you have the syllabus in front of you, you can just open up the syllabus quiz and answer that. But it's a pretty ambitious semester, okay? We cover in like 8 weeks what is usually covered in 16 weeks. So we cover like, maybe 2 chapters a week, which is double time, okay? So this first week, you guys are just gonna look at the intro material, what chemistry is about, what your study habits are, problem solving, scientific method, and then chemistry of our lives. That's chapter 1. And then next week, measurements, which is really difficult for some of you. Okay, measurement, significant figures, dealing with numbers. So make sure you watch the video on that, or any links that I might have on that, because I know that that's a stumbling block for many students. And then there's energy and matter. Energy and matter covers like nutrition, phases of matter, and things like that. Then the third week, we hit the heart of atoms and chemical compounds. We talk about the atoms and the elements, and we go a little bit on the subatomic particle, like nuclear chemistry. But chapter 6 is really important. If you really want to understand chemistry, chapter 6 covers that, because it tells you why the atoms combine, why they do so at a certain proportion, how to name them, and then from the combination of the atoms, you can actually figure out the geometry, and the geometry is responsible for the properties that these chemicals have. Like, if you think about water, 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, and carbon dioxide, carbon and 2 oxygens. They're very simple chemicals. They've got 3 atoms apiece, yet one is a gas at room temperature, the other one's a liquid. The other one is a waste in respiration. The other chemical is important for life. So again, the third and fourth weeks are really important if you want to understand chemistry of things. The fifth week, we cover chemical reactions and stoichiometry, and then we have a midterm there, okay? You guys have 2 quizzes prior to that. Quiz 1, which covers chapters 1 through 3. Quiz 2, which covers 4 to 6, and then a midterm, which covers also chapter 7. And then after that, we have gas law, solution, kinetics, equilibrium. That's the applications of chemistry that we learn the fundamentals of in the beginning of the semester. And there's a quiz there. And then we finish the summer with acid-base chemistry, and that's part of your final. Okay, so look at that schedule. It goes fast, okay? Try not to get behind. And within each of those chapters, I usually post like a 3 or 4 point discussion questions just to make sure that you guys are paying attention. Okay, so that's the class schedule. And you'll find those discussion not so much in the syllabus, but within Canvas. Okay, is the course objective and what you need to know. It's really good to pay attention to these. Why? Because you probably find quiz questions that pertains to these topics. Because look at it, students will be able to calculate caloric values for different nutrition. You know there's going to be a quiz question on that or an exam questions. So take a look at this and use it as a guide to what to study for those different chapters, okay? So this is the knowledge gain. It's important to not just have the book and think that by sleeping on your book, the knowledge will be transferred to your head. You actually got to read it, okay? If you don't read it, at least go through the videos that I have on some of the discussion and listen to that. But you'll be amazed what you can learn by reading. And then do the homework. The homework, I give you like 4 or 5 chances to get it right. So try it once, you get it wrong, try it again. So within My Lab and Mastering, there's multiple chances of doing the problem, okay? And each homework's about 20 points. And then there's also something called adaptive learning, where in which Pearson, the AI system, will figure out which areas you're weak in a certain chapter and then recommend problems. And if you do that, then you get 2 points extra credit. So if you get like 18 out of 20 and you do that adaptive learning and you do those correctly, then you can get 20 out of 20. Okay, no homework can get more than 20 points. So if you get like 19 and you do the adaptive learning and you get 21, it still rounds off to 20. Okay, so just so you know. So that's part of the reading and the homework assignment. Attendance will be based on you logging in. I'm not going to call attendance because this is asynchronous, but I do check on your weekly logins. You know, Canvas is like Big Brother. It figures out when you've logged in, how much time you spend in each particular section. So what I want to know is when was the last time you log in. If it's been over a week or 2, then I know something's wrong. I'll email you, figure out what's happening. Maybe something has gone amok. Try and work it out. If not, you really should drop the class, because once you miss a week and a half, you've pretty much missed close to a month worth of material in the regular semester. So keep that in mind. You really got to keep up with the pace of the course. So that's the attendance and the login information for Canvas. For the quizzes, you have 3 quizzes and you get to drop 1, okay? If you are busy or you have an emergency, that's the one that's going to be dropped. If you have a low score, you just had a bad day, then that could be the one that's dropped. What I do next is I take the remaining quizzes, and remember, it's only 3. So I take the other 2, take the average of that to replace the drop quiz. So that'll be how we sort of even things out, because I know that there are certain days that you just don't have it. So there is one grace exam or quiz, I mean, that you can drop. You can't really drop the midterm or the final, okay? So make sure that you're prepared for those. But I will allow you to drop a quiz. So keep that in mind, okay? This is the grading structure. You've got a quiz, 3 of them. These are the dates right here, okay? You got a midterm on the 22nd, that's on a Friday. And you've got a final, that's on a Thursday. So please keep those dates open, 22nd and the 11th of August, 22nd of July, 11th of August. As far as the quiz is concerned, I open it on a Friday morning and I close it on a Sunday before midnight. So within that 2-3 days, you need to find an hour and a half to do those quizzes, okay? So it's not going to be set at any particular time, but know that once you open it, the clock runs and you only have like 120 minutes before it closes. And then when it closes, it won't open again, okay? And you might see an initial grade, but don't take that grade as the final grade, because I have to go in after the deadline and hand grade all of those. And with 48 students in this class, it's going to take me a while. On top of the fact that for the lab experiments are also due on a Sunday. So I've got a lot of grading Monday, Tuesday. So it might take me a few days to iron all that grading. And so until I release it, don't worry about your grade, because it'll probably get adjusted just based on the fact that Canvas makes a lot of mistakes and it cannot grade fill in the blank correctly, okay, or essay questions correctly, or show your work correctly. I have to do that by hand. So please keep that in mind. In terms of, these are percentage, but these can easily be 200 points, 50 points, 300 points, 150 points, because altogether the percentage adds up to 100%, which is equal to 1,000 points for my system. And this is the grading scheme. A, if you get 90 or better, B, 80 to 89, C, 64 to 79. Usually I drop that C range to 60%. And then what I generally do is I do tend to adjust the scale accordingly, just based on the distribution of students. Like if this is like 90 right here, and this is 80, and I have a curve that looks like this, okay, then perhaps these students at 89 should also go with the 90%, because there's not much difference between a person who's got 90 and 89, and there's a big cluster there. So that's usually how I adjust my grading scheme. 89, 88 sometimes, okay, may merit getting an A grade. 79 may merit getting a B grade, just depending on how the class distribution happens to lie. So just keep that in mind. But know that if you get a 90% or better, you're guaranteed an A. If you get an 80% to an 89%, or anywhere above 80%, you're guaranteed a B minimum. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And then the rest of this is just some important notes, and I'll just sort of highlight some of these. Make sure that you dedicate some time to commit to this class, because if you just sort of sparsely go in and out and try to do the homework problem without being prepared, you're going to fall behind easily. So try and dedicate some time for this class to complete the problem undisturbed time, okay, so that you can complete the assignment. If you're going to turn in any work, always give it a proper file name, and that proper file name is your last name, first initial, assignment title, and the date that you submitted, okay? This is true for the lab as well. That way, when I have all these documents I have to file, I know right away who submitted it and what that pertains to. And that's really important in terms of me turning around and getting those things graded. Okay, so a lot of times before I had this file name system, I spent a lot of my time just sorting through all this information, and it's just wasting a lot of time. Okay, so just please keep last name, initial, assignment title, and then the date, underscore, separated by an underscore. Like last name would be Garces F, or something like Tran A. Okay, something like that. Yeah, the syllabus has that last name, initial. So I need to identify you, assignment title, and the date. Okay, or something like that. Something like that. Even if you put your first full name, that's fine too. I just need to identify you, and I need to file it in your folder that I create for you, so I know that what assignments you've turned in. I basically create a folder for each member of the class. That way I can find their work. Okay, so keep to the deadline as well. And if you work with others, that's fine, but it has to be your own work when you assignment. If I see plagiarism or copying, then I'm going to question your work. Okay, it's okay to sort of discuss with classmate how to work out a problem, but in the end, you got to be responsible for your own work. Don't plagiarize, don't cheat. We have I don't know if you guys are familiar with Turnitin, but it's a plagiarism detection software that we have in Canvas. So it'll always tell you how much of your work is plagiarized. Usually 25% is acceptable. Anything above that is a red flag for me, and then I will question your work. Okay, so again, these are important situation, important policies. Calculator policy, make sure you know how your calculator works. I put in the announcement recently how to use your calculator so you know how to input scientific notation, because too many times, and I've taught this class a lot, students are not using their calculator correctly. They're using times 10 to the X key, and that's not scientific notation. What happens a lot if you use that key is you get the answer some of the time. Other times your answer will be off by 10. And in a multiple choice question, you'll get it wrong. So look at the announcement. Look at that video that shows you how to use your calculator correctly and how to use what we call the double E key, EE or EXP. That's really critical, okay? So I just want to make sure that you remember that. Again, there's class attendance in there, showing work. The quizzes and the exam, sometimes what I will do is I will have a question and you have to show your work. So write your thought process on a piece of paper, take a photo, convert it to a PDF. I show you a tutorial on how to convert any file into PDF, and then give it a proper file name and then upload it. Okay, that way I'm not going to basically monitor you. You know, they have these things now where you have to turn on your video and then people take a look while you're taking the quiz. We're not going to do that. It's caused too much stress, but we do want to see whether or not your work is authentic. And one of the ways we do that is to look at your thought process as you work a problem through. Not all questions will be like that, but when it asks you to show your work, this is especially true for lab, you need to write it out either in the worksheet that's provided or in a clean scratch paper, and then submit it where it prompts you to in that particular assessment. So make sure you do that. Remember that this is an online course, so the quizzes and the exams are online. A lot of times the answers might be published in the web and those answers may be wrong. Okay, in fact, I've seen a lot of it where they're wrong. And if you have one of those weird published answers, then again, I might question that. So if you are honest in this class, no problem. You won't have to ever worry about things like that. But if you are dishonest because you're sharing answer or you're looking for a quick fix, then that's a red flag for me. And I really don't want to um, in, um, call you out on it, but I will because it's unfair for the rest of the class. Okay. So again, this is it. The policies of quizzes and exam, there's more here. You guys should read that. That's part of your syllabus quiz. Conditions for being dropped, take a look at that. I'm just going to go through this because you guys can read that on your own rather than me just regurgitating it in this discussion. Plus, we're already at 6:36, and I really want to go into Canvas and make sure that you guys know how to navigate that. So the rest of these are just like the policies, okay, and communication, things like that. Misconduct policy, special service. I think there might be some tutoring at Miramar College, or there might be some tutoring online. You might want to go to there's a resource page that Miramar has in terms of tutoring. I don't know if there's any chemistry tutoring. I'm your best tutor, so if you need any assistance, let me know, and I'll certainly will help you out. If you are a DSPS and you have accommodations, please let me know. I got to make sure that you have your accommodations are taken care of. We also have a student affiliate, American Chemical Society. That's not active during the summer, and our help room isn't active during the summer, so you can ignore those two last pieces, okay? And then just read this real quick, okay? Just attending class and going through the motions not enough to get you past this course. You actually got to learn something and work at it. So that's what this thing is telling you, okay? And then there's the honesty conduct policy. Make sure you read that so you know what is allowed and what is not allowed. And then this is a really good page in terms of what is considered collaboration versus academic dishonesty. And there's a bunch of questions in the syllabus concerning these topics. So make sure you read it, okay? And this is just an open letter from the chair because during COVID, we had a lot of students cheating. And if we catch you cheating, it's not good because we're going to refer you to first to the chair and then to the VP of Student Affairs. And again, it's just not a good thing, especially if you're going to go into the allied health field where you're going to be responsible for people's lives. I don't want a nurse or a healthcare worker who cheated their way through. Okay, so that basically is it. So that pretty much takes care of the syllabus, basically just a cliff notes, the highlights of the syllabus. You guys should download it. And if there's any modifications, I'll let you know through the announcement because the syllabus is basically always in flux if things needs to be adjusted. But what I want to do next is just go through Canvas so you can see how to navigate that. So when you guys log in, and I assume because you paid for the course, you have access to this class. This is where you will, this is the landing page. Again, this is your email. Always use this inbox to communicate with me, okay? You click on that inbox and then you click up here on the right and you just say you're going to contact your instructor, okay? Find your course and then you can email me directly through that. Or you can just take one of these messages here and hit reply if I send you something. So that's your email system through Canvas. Take a look at the calendar because the calendar will give you an idea of what assignments are coming up. So if you click on the calendar and then you got to make sure that, because I got so many classes here, that you highlight the right course. Right now, what you see is the assignments and the due dates for both the lecture and the lab. I just want to see the lecture. So I'm just going to declick that, and these are it. So today was the orientation. We have a discussion 1 tomorrow that's due. It's only worth 3 points. If you click on that, it shows you what what that assignment is. Okay, let's close it. This weekend is a bunch of extra credit assignments. Okay, you can just click on that and they'll provide you a link. But basically, it gives you an idea of what assignments are coming up right here through the calendar. Okay, so it's really nice and convenient. If you don't want to go through the calendar, you can go through our course and just look at the module page. But when you hit home, it'll give you the most recent announcements. If you want to see all the announcements, you've got to click here under announcements, and then it gives you a breadcrumb trail of all the announcements. Like this one, welcome to Chem 100. That was the opening announcement. Latest news about COVID, Microsoft getting free Microsoft. It's really nice if you can get that. Uploading multiple pages, like sometimes you have more than one page of scratch paper. It needs to be one file, PDF file, to upload it, because you only have, Canvas only allows you to, at least certain modes, allows you to upload only one file. So if that one file has multiple pages, that's the best way to do it. Okay, math phobia is here. I think there's also, it might be optional access code. There should be, let me do this real quick, because maybe I didn't put it here. Maybe I put it in my lab section. Let me take a look at that real quick. Okay, because this is really important, and maybe I need to put this in the lecture section as well. Why? Because most of you, some of you in my lecture are not in my lab. There is here, using your scientific calculator. So I'll put this in the lecture as well. Know how to use your EE key. That's really important, especially for chapter 2 measurements. Okay, so I'll put that in the announcement for the lecture course. Let me go back to our class. Okay, we only have about 15 minutes left, and I should be able to get through this, no problem. Again, that's the announcement. If you look, if you scroll down, you can see that you can click on the announcement, syllabus, My Lab and Mastering. When you get to My Lab and Mastering, you can click here, or you can click right here. There's two places. If you click on that, what you will see is this page right here. You need to open it up, or you need to access, get help, and purchase your access code through here. Okay, and when you get your access code through here, or just sign up for a 21-day trial. If you're not sure you're going to stick in this class, just sign up for a 21-day trial. At the end of 21 days, they'll ask you for money, and if you don't pay them, then they'll erase all your assignments. So at least sign up for that. But anyway, once you sign up, this is what you will see. And if you go to the assignments right here, you will see that all the assignments for this particular class has already been preset. So let me do this real quick. Course. Okay, this is my view. This is my view. Let me get out of here real quick, and let me show you your view, because that's probably what you need under mastering assignments. If you click on that, this is all the homework for the entire summer. You can see that this is when it will open. This is the deadline, I mean, right here. And this is when it's available. Everything's available to the end of the semester, but you don't really get access to some of these until we're about a week or two from hitting that chapter. I really don't want you guys to be working too far ahead. I want you to go at the same pace that we're covering this particular section. When you work ahead, that basically means you've hired someone to do your homework, okay? So that's not good. Anyway, these are the assignment, and you can see, like in certain sections right here, see if I can blow this up. There's like chapter 2. These are the questions. There's also adaptive learning. So if you finish this and you only get like 18 out of 20 and you do the adaptive learning, then you get extra points. Adaptive learnings are never required. You should try them, however, to make sure that you develop the skills necessary to complete the quiz or the final or the midterm. So that's where my lab and mastering is observed. You can see that here. You have access. The module page is this module page right here. And then I also want to show you, don't worry too much about my website. It's the school took down the server that had my website. So I'm trying to go to a different place and it's taking me forever, but know that you're not losing anything. Everything's in Canvas as far as getting that information. So don't worry about that. Here is, yeah, that's for the lab, again, for my website, but go to the Google Drive, because if you access the Google Drive, what you will find is the lecture notes for this class, okay? You will also find sample questions for this class. And if you are in my lab, you also find the lab manual for this class. So go to my Google Drive and you get instant access to the resources rather than navigating through Canvas and all that. It's all available in that Google Drive. Okay, so let me go next. Again, like I said, the announcement has all the information that you have. Some of these have not been released yet. So you've only seen up to June 23rd. Tomorrow, this will be released. And on the 4th of July, this will be released. That's when we cover the atom. Syllabus, if you need a copy of the syllabus, just click here, download it through this link. Let's go to, I already covered my lab and mastering. Okay, grades. If you go to grades, then you can see exactly how you did in each of the assignments. And then it basically tells me that I need to start grading all of these. Okay, so I need to start grading some of the things that you guys have turned in right here. And when you see these eyeballs with a slash, it means you can't see how you perform. When you see these right here, until I release it. So just keep that in mind. You guys don't get this grid. You basically just see the title and then your points. But take a look at your grade book in order to see how you're doing. Last thing I want to cover, so since we only have 10 minutes, is the module page. Okay, the module page basically mirrors the schedule. So the first thing that you'll see in the module page is just information pertaining to this course. The syllabus, this right here just takes you back to the home page. Sorry. Just go get lost in the website so you know how to navigate it. The syllabus, the schedule, the integrity policy, the textbook information, my lab and mastering, Google Drive, resource page. This is a really good information page where you get a lot of information, especially right here, information and equation. If you click on that and just download this right here, it gives you a lot of conversion factors and information when we get to certain sections of the course. Okay, so that's under fog links. What else? My webpage, don't worry about that. Once we finish this course information, then the first section, module 0, is where you find all that extra credit. Right now, I have Zoom recordings, and I've turned off the spring 2021 recording, and I've turned off the fall 2020 recording. But as soon as I get the orientation recording for this session, I will place it right here. Okay, and here are some of the lecture notes. Oh, it's not active. I got to figure out why that thing is dead. Okay. I got to take a look at that. But these right here are the extra credit Okay, the introduction is not, the background survey is, what you know survey is, math pretest is. If you click on these things, if it tells you their time, pay attention to the time. Other assignments are not time, but when it tells you you've got 60 minutes, then you've got 60 minutes to complete this. Okay, these questions are pretty basic. I just want to know your level of math for this particular section, for this particular course, and a lot of it are just multiple choice, okay, like these. So let's go back to the module. Again, that's extra credit. Syllabus quiz is here, that's not extra credit. That's right here, and that's due by 6/29. And that's basically it. So try and get this done by this weekend if you can. We'll close that. And also, what you should do is try and cover at least chapter 1 by this week, because chapter 2 and 3 are really big chapters for next week. If you take a look at these, what you'll find is these are the lecture notes. I don't know why they're not coming up. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I think what happened was that my website for the school got closed, but I'll double check those links and make sure that they are active for that. Okay, but you should also look at the ebook and cover those sections. These topics pretty much parallels the topics that's covered in the textbook. Okay, so chemistry in our daily lives, that's what's being covered. And then if you go through these, okay, these are the lecture notes for that. Math basics, okay. Problem solving, okay. These are it right here. Make sure you cover these and review them, and then within each of these chapters you have a homework link. So if you click on that right there, it'll take you to My Lab and Mastering, where you can now do the homework for that chapter. Okay, so that's chapter 1. Chapter 2 not only has a homework link, it also has a discussion link. So if you click on that, you can easily sign this, and I see some people already completed this. Okay, and then chapter 3, you also have a homework link and a discussion link, and then at the end of chapter 3, you have quiz 1. And that's, if you look at this right here, it tells you that this thing will open July 1st. It'll be due on July 3rd before midnight, but you do have a grace period. I always give you about an 11-hour grace period. You can submit it up to July 4th by 11 a.m. Okay, maybe you're coming home from work and you didn't have time to get it, although you had 3 days, okay? But you do have a grace period. I won't do any penalty. You have until 11 a.m. the next day to complete it and turn it in. After that, then there's no way of opening it up again. I have to start grading it. So that's the module page. Okay, that's chapter 1, 2, and 3, and then quiz 1. And then after that, there's unit 2, chapters 4, 5, and 6. 4 is the atoms, 5 is nuclear chemistry, and 6 is a big chapter. Really big chapter. And then within each one of these, see these big chapters, I also have Zoom session recordings, because like I said, the chemistry hasn't changed. So when you hear me from like a couple years ago to now, I'm going to be basically telling you the same thing. So it's the same concept basically. So these are it right here. And again, within each of these, you have homework link and the discussion link. Here you have 2 discussion links. One of these is extra credit, the crossword puzzle for nomenclature. And then after that, you have quiz 2. And then July 18th to the 24th, that would be chapter 7. That's a tough chapter if you hate math, but I think you'll do fine. There's a homework and a discussion, and then the midterm. And then we're pretty much more than halfway through. We cover 3 chapters after that, 8, 9, and 10. Again, there's a homework link and a discussion link. Discussion are generally, some of it will be extra credit, some of it's required just to make sure that you're keeping up with the course. And then quiz 3. And then finally, we have acid-base chemistry, and then your final. So that's basically where you'll find these. It's going to be under the module. And if you just stick to the module and you follow each one of these, then you don't really need to go anywhere else. It tells you what are required. What is required is the homework. What is required is part of the discussion. What is required is the quiz. Those are the 3 main things per module. And then you have the midterm and your final. Okay, so if you can do that, and if you have questions, let me know, email me. We can set up a Zoom session where I can, you'll be surprised. 5 minutes with me, try and comprehend a concept will save you a couple of hours just trying to learn it on your own. Okay, but that's basically what I have for you in terms of this class. I hope that was helpful. And I hope that you now know where to, let me do one more thing, okay? Since we have a couple more minutes. I wanna show you that some of these things will require you to upload some of these answers. So let me show you where that's found. I'll go to another section here. So you might have a question like this where you need to, I'll go to the safety quiz for my lab course. Okay, here's a safety quiz, but within that question, what you will see is there's going to be a question at the end where you have to upload right here. So this right here is you need to upload, choose a file. So you choose a file, find it in your computer, and then you upload it. And it can only be one file. That's why if you have multiple pages, you can't have multiple files. You gotta create one PDF file for that. And then when you upload it, now that particular question has been complete. It'll tell me the file name, and then you can submit. Then you can submit, okay? But that, not all the quizzes will have that. But some of the quiz where I want you to show your work, that's how you do it. There'll be a question here, and then it'll ask you to upload your work. And you need to find it in your computer, or if you wrote it somewhere, take a picture with your smartphone, upload it to your computer, convert it to a PDF, and then upload it, okay? If you don't know how to convert it to a PDF, let me know, because I do have some resources. Whether you're a PC user or a Mac user. If you're a Mac user, it's super easy. I'm a Mac user. So that you can create the PDF file for that. But that basically is what this course entails, okay? Sometime next week, I'll probably have a review session right before your first quiz to highlight the important parts of the quiz that's coming up. Okay, and I'll probably put that announcement sometime on Monday or Tuesday.